Welcome back to Sam's Garage, presented by NH Oil Undercoating. The 68 Camaro is back in the shop, and Sam demonstrates how to install a new water pump from Tuff Stuff. Step by step, Sam provides some tricks of the trade to ensure a proper installation. Be sure to get your pen and paper ready and take notes.
That's gonna look good. All right, I got the 67 Camaro back in the shop. I'm gonna change out the accessories with Tuff Stuff accessories for two reasons. One, I want it to look better under the hood. And two, all the accessories on this car are almost as old as the car, so it's time for new items. Now, I've already started with the high torque mini starter that's chrome plated. I'm gonna continue that theme underneath the hood by replacing the water pump, the power steering pump, and the alternator. Now, the water pump that I've chosen is a long nose standard water pump. It's got all the fittings I need to be able to put all my accessories back in their original places using the original belts. This water pump from Tuff Stuff does flow 30% more water, so it's gonna give me a lot better cooling. So let's go ahead and get started. Now I'm going to install the gaskets onto the water pump, but this is a chrome water pump. And what I like to do is remove the chrome from the face of the water pump that mates to the gasket. That way it'll be nice and reliable. Then what I'll do is add a little weather strip adhesive just to keep the gaskets in place. Now in this case, I could very easily just do this and keep my bolts in there and finagle it on, but the glue keeps it in place and it doesn't affect the sealing. Because this surface is so slick, there are times where the water will actually leak past the gasket. And so what I like to do is rough it up, and that way everything seats in place, making for a reliable installation. I'm gonna go in with new hardware. Now, because I have a Chevy, the bolt holes don't go through into the cooling system, so there's no reason to put anything on there. But if you were working on a Ford, some of those bolts going through the water pump and timing cover actually make it into the water galley in the block. So it's important that you put some anti-seize or some sort of plumber's dope onto the threads before you put them into the motor. Now I'm going to replace this hose. I didn't like the one that I took off, and this is a good time. Anytime you're doing an upgrade on your vehicle, always pay attention to the components you're removing, because if you can change something, if something feels soft like a hose, this is a good time to replace it while everything is empty. Now, I like to, when I put on hoses, because sometimes you may have to take it right back off, I put a little bit of Sil Glide or grease in the openings of the hose, or you can put it on the component itself, and it just makes it very easy to slide on, and it prevents it to sticking in the future. If you have to take it off, it'll just come right off. You also want to make sure that when you're tightening your hose clamps, that the hose clamp itself is past the bulge of the nipple, because you don't want this hose clamp to slide off the nipple and your hose pop off and you lose your coolant and get stuck on the side of the road. All right, I got my Tuff Stuff water pump installed. Now this is a short snout water pump, so I will have to get a different pulley. And the alternator bracket that used to bolt up to the face of the original water pump is now gone. So I have to contact Tuff Stuff and get an alternator bracket as well. But don't let little things like that discourage you. This is a well worth upgrade. Now that I've got everything disassembled, I'm going to continue with the installation of my power steering pump, and then I can move on from there.